Yes, folks, welcome. It's great to have you here. Today, there are new products. As you can see, I've already skipped the unboxing. Everything is already spread out on the table. There are a lot of new products. I've already tried a few things for myself. There are new products here from chemicalworkz and an important piece of information up front. The 9 products here are ultra sought after. They will be available from the moment this video goes online, which is in about 2 weeks. There will also be a little special promotion from my side. Maybe I'll start a small contest, so you can definitely look forward to it. Make sure to pay attention to that. I will also make a small video about it, and then the sets will be available again. Not just the set that I assembled, but also the other sets. And you can definitely look forward to that. There's also a short informational video about it. However, you can also simply sign up for notifications on the website when the product is fully available again. So it has become an extremely popular, absolute bestseller machine. Truly deserved because it's 2-in-1, perfect. We also have a bit about polishing among the new products here. But you can already see a colorful, large field. Many new things start with the whole applicator theme, as a lot is related to the topic of application. It's actually the first one. That is less about application, but you can use it that way too. It's mainly for cleaning. These are the melamine sponges. These are the dirt eraser, proper dirt cleaning, foam blocks in a really nice size, specifically measuring 10 by 6 centimeters. There are a total of 6 pieces included, which is a complete box, and these are the cleaning sponges, magic sponges, melamine sponges, depending on what you want to call them. And you can use them wonderfully, even on unpainted plastic, for example, when there is really dirt on it. I have also used them in many videos, but I will make a separate video for the sponge to show you all the application areas because they have a very high abrasion and therefore you should use them, for example. Don't use it on paint right now, although it actually holds up very well. Oh pow, I have tested it myself, so it's not as bad as one might think. Yes, I will make a detailed video about it. It can be used excellently in the interior and also for many other applications, including in the household. Ceramic cooktop, induction cooktop, everything that is so dirty. If you have a ceramic sink, if there are any grease stains in it, simply an ultimate universal tool. It's now available here in a 6-pack and I brought it home. Twice. Once the box is opened, here you have it again in its original form. It comes nicely compact, super cool, I like it. Now let's move on to the applicators. First, there is a tire applicator with this rounded foam. Here you apply your tire care product and then you can wonderfully distribute it on the tire sidewall. This also has a really nice foam grip on top. This means it can be held very well. It's also nicely shaped and the right size. And you can wonderfully use this rounded area over the tire sidewall. And with this tip, you can easily reach the transition between the tire and the rim. Sometimes there is a little gap where some applicators can't quite reach, and with this tip, you can nicely go along the tire. You will also see these in the next videos because I have so many tires to care for, and I want to try them out again. And Andreas has also made a lot for you. So they are very popular here, and I also got 2 sets for myself. Here, the original always comes in a 2-pack. Let's move on to the next applicator, which is actually more of a polishing aid, to be precise. This is the foam block, and at the bottom, you have a felt surface that measures about 5 to 6 millimeters, and glass polish is applied here. You can use it on the windshield and side windows, depending on what you want to do. You can either perfectly remove baked-in insects or residues from glass sealants, or just generally make the glass really clean. You can definitely do this with a glass cleaner as well, but here it works perfectly with glass polish, and then you're good to go. Here are these small blocks which are really stable because you really rub on the surface. This foam block is a bit harder than the one here, so you can still compress this one a little. This one is really solid. I can maybe compress it by just about 5 or 6 minutes. It is really hard and designed for gripping, so you can effectively transfer forces. Attention was really paid to that. So here these glass applicators are called, but you can also call them polishing aids, depending on how you prefer. I also got 2 of those because I always need them, especially to remove the glass sealant from the windows when we do any comparisons. They can be used really well. A bottle, glass, and polish to go with it, and then you always have such a nice set. Apply it, use it, and then you can easily wash it out here again. This means you take warm water, rinse it out nicely here, and even if a few residues remain, it's not a problem at all. It will dissolve during the next application when you put a bit of glass polish on it again, but you really get this felt material very clean. So here the glass applicators are also included. I got 2 of them. Yes, the next applicators, it is very applicator heavy, come in a 2-pack. These are the 13X8s. In neon green, in a beautiful red, and in a beautiful blue. These are actually the same colors as we have with the 500 GSM cloths. I have one right here at the bottom. Look, a matching color for that. The applicators were already available in gray, and now there are also color extensions if you want to sort them a bit for the outdoor area, indoor area, or just use the green ones for wax. Or if you have a wax that might also have color. Just 2001, a bit for color separation, always comes in a 2-pack, and I always got 2 packages each time. That means I now have 4, 8, 12 pads fresh for all my sealing tests and also to spray seal the surface and then distribute it with the applicator. I also showed you a nice tactic for that. So for this, I always need replenishment, folks. I always have a lot of supplies on hand because I test a lot of different things and often use these applicators. That's why I always get a large supply. Now, 2 things that are not new, but I picked them up because they were included in the deal. Specifically, 900 GSM 40 by 40. These ultra soft cloths are truly top notch and they are really nice, yet thin drying towels, but ultra dense in microfiber. This means a very thin cloth, but 900 GSM is just incredibly impressive for the fiber. And you can also see here it has very fine loops. Actually, it is a twisted pile fiber, but micro twisted pile, and you can dry your vehicle very nicely with it. There will also be another video on this. For me, there is a little new drying tactic. Let's take a look. My wife also wanted to add a glass pad to this. This is for you. You can use it very well in the household, for example. If you have a shower with glass walls and so on, you can use it wonderfully to remove water spots afterward, so you don't get any limescale stains. It is used very, very frequently, and it can also be used very well in the family. On the back, you also have a thin cleaning fiber, and on the front, you have the waffle structure. You can also turn it very, very nicely. So that will come into the household as a supply, and then we come to the innovation, but to the first product category at chemicalworkz, which has not been equipped like this before. And now it all begins with wool hybrid pads or wool pads or microfiber pads, depending on how you want to refer to them. Here, these are also synthetic fibers, which means you can use various terms. They are very well prepared by Johan Barwig. Johan Barwig has also tested them extensively and is super, super enthusiastic. It also has a really nice cushioning layer in it. That means, well, it's a bit difficult to explain in this small unboxing here. When you polish with it, you have a very high abrasion. This means that a lot of pressure is transferred from the machine to the surface. The microfibers or this synthetic wool really rubs very, very strongly. You have a very high cut. This is not a finishing pad. This is a cutting pad. And now, to explain it very briefly and concisely, I will make an extra video about it. If this cushioning layer were not here and the pad would really transfer the machines and your force directly onto the surface, there is a very high risk that you might quickly remove too much paint, especially when there are such small edges. With my BMW behind the camera, you always have these 2 small steps on the hood. Let's just call them that. And if you polish over it unfavorably, especially as a beginner and not being very careful, it can quickly remove too much paint. And that's why this cushioning layer is included, which is really very, very soft. This effectively dampens the strength of the synthetic wool a bit when you press down on it. Of course, if you press too hard, you will fully transfer the forces, but it's simply a matter of safety that it conforms a bit to edges. It shouldn't just go along the edge coldly, but rather have a bit of cushioning. Basically, it's like a shock absorber in a car. You wouldn't want to drive completely through a pothole. It would be better if it dampens a bit. And that's how it is here as well, where the force is not transmitted 100%. Just explained roughly and simply for you now. In the video, I will show you all the information again. There is also a hole in the middle so that the pad can expand a bit in case a lot of heat is generated here, preventing the heat from accumulating in the center and causing the pad to burst. To put it simply again, for example, with the pads that are not very good and of high quality, you simply have the problem that the pads break down in a relatively short time because they run much too hot, which is why there is a hole in the middle at 75 mm. This is the second pad that is also being introduced now. It doesn't have a hole in the middle because the surface area is relatively small, so you don't have this heat problem as strongly. There are pads in the foam area that have a hole. Some do not have a hole. Here, the heat development is not as extreme because the pad is relatively small, allowing the heat to dissipate quickly, and the backing plate is also smaller. But at 125, you have a large area where a lot of heat is generated, and at 150, even more, a pad with a hole is definitely recommended. So now these wool pads, or hybrid wool pads, depending on how you want to label them, are also available here in both small and large versions. Maybe in the future, there will also be 150 and perhaps even smaller pads. It will simply show how well these are received here, but I believe they will become very, very popular. And I will definitely have my video on this from me in the next few days. We are going to remove some really, really heavy scratches. This is going to be super, super exciting. And I will also show you the difference between a pad and a foam pad. What should you pay attention to? There will be a lot of information on this. If you are already into polishing, you should be familiar with this type of polishing pad, and especially for the price, what has been put together here is just extremely good. I wanted to keep the video as short and compact as possible. So many applicators, a bit of accessories, and just to remind you, the pads will be included and the information about DA Pro should be available in the next 2 weeks. There will also be a really nice promotion from me. I'm planning a little something at this point. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I wish you all a wonderful start to the season in this video. The weather is really so dreamy right now and many other things. I always have to make sure that when I go to film my videos at the self-service box, there isn't a huge crowd there. The typical car wash rush is coming back. I wish you lots of fun with your next laundry. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, or even easier, just use the WhatsApp number below. Feel free to contact me directly for free. I am always the one who writes with you, or you can also send me a voice message. Please be brief and concise. The faster I can answer your questions, the more I can provide assistance for you here at any time. Until then, you're Sebastian. Have fun and feel free to check out the new items here to see if there's something for you. Until the next video.